certainly many of you listening to the show will identify with what I'm saying, and you want to achieve, you want to climb to the stars, so to speak. What drives you, though? What drives you? Why do you want to succeed? Tell me why. It's an interesting question. I'll be right back. It's the Savage Nation.
Savage. On the air, online, and on the go. This is Talk 910 KNEW.
I've talked about the emasculation of our men in today's society, beginning with our boys who are not permitted to be boys. And at the first sign of energy, they're labeled problems. And they're given medicine. Because they act like boys, they're treated as though they're sick. Joining us today is Dr. Peter Breggin, who says a big part of this problem comes from modern psychiatry and psychology.
Yes, Michael, modern psychiatry and psychology are among the most destructive forces in America today. They undermine the truth that effective living requires, above all else, solid values and the courage and determination to live by them. These so-called sciences of psychology and psychiatry not only promote relativism of values, they enforce a materialistic view of human beings. The most profound spiritual problems in life include learning self-discipline and personal responsibility, overcoming anxiety, triumphing over sad feelings and depressed feelings, and maintaining our self-worth through acting at all times on our best nature and highest ideals. But psychiatry and psychology reduce these spiritual issues to biochemical imbalances and mental disorders. This robs the individual of any hope of genuine human growth. Psychiatry and psychology, in effect, teach the religion or philosophy of materialism.
Seems to me we're teaching this philosophy to little children when they get diagnosed and then given psychiatric drugs.
Yes, Michael, it begins in elementary school and sometimes even earlier when kids learn that children who misbehave or displease adults have a disease called ADHD that requires them to take medicines. The effects of these misguided lessons are morally staggering. Children who are stigmatized with psychiatric diagnoses are likely to forever view themselves as defective and limited. They will learn to see themselves as unable to exert self-control the way normal children do. They will be taught to take pills when they need instead to learn self-discipline. While taking the drugs, their brains will be sufficiently impaired to prevent their learning subtle moral distinctions and emotional self-discipline. Even children who remain undiagnosed will suffer the moral hazards of this approach. They are being taught that the world is divisible into two kinds of people, those with disorders and those without them. Many will end up self-diagnosing, turning to prescription or even illegal drugs as a solution to their problems as they grow up. When the children are older, in high school and especially in college, they will not be taught that human beings fail or succeed in life. Indeed, they live and die by their values. Their health instructors and professors of psychology will make no mention whatsoever of the truth that America was founded on the principles of political liberty and individual responsibility, and that living by these principles is the starting point of a successful and happy life. Instead, they will learn that a good life is a happenstance determined by the presence or absence of biochemical imbalances and psychiatric disorders.
What do you mean by materialism?
In Marxist theory, man is a soulless creature who can do little more than respond to his environment. There's no ghost in the machine, no choice-making person inside the black box. Pavlov believed the same thing as the Marxists, that humans and dogs alike can be shaped by carefully controlled rewards. He became the official psychologist of atheistic, materialistic communism. But even Pavlov, after seeing how dogs struggle to get free of any restraint, concluded that there must be a freedom reflex. Modern psychiatry continues to treat us as soulless biological mechanisms. It's even more simplistic than Pavlov, who at least conceded the existence of that freedom reflex. In regard to out-of-control children, for example, there is no attempt in psychology and psychiatry to help them to understand the importance of self-control and self-discipline. Meanwhile, their parents taught to drug them rather than to more effectively teach them a consistent set of values to govern their behavior. Parents drag their rebellious offspring to the doctor's office for drugs without being told the obvious fact that an out-of-control child needs to learn moral restraint. The treatment of adults is equally corrupted by this materialistic view of life. In reality, people become depressed because they are conflicted and lose hope of finding a way to live an ethical and happy life. Yet few health professionals are likely to ask the depressed person, "What hopes have you given up? What moral dilemmas are you in? Why does your life feel like a lost cause? Do you want help living more courageously by a better set of values?" Couples can go through years of family therapy sessions without once being asked if they love each other, and without once being asked if they want to take responsibility for reclaiming and honoring that love. Most Americans believe in God, but mental health professionals rarely offer guidance in how to use faith to strengthen self-esteem, to strengthen ethics, and to empower people in their ability to share a more loving and joyful life. Rooted in wholly materialistic values, psychiatry and psychology are indeed among the most destructive forces in our culture. Michael, there's so much to say about this, but now I'll conclude with the refrain of my weekly report, the primary principles which have never been more relevant. Protect freedom, take responsibility at all times, express gratitude for all your gifts and opportunities, become a source of love. This is psychiatrist Peter R. Breggin, urging you to live like an American. You can find me and listen to all these reports and download the transcripts at breggin.com. That's BREGGIN.com.
Thanks, Dr. Breggin. This is The Savage Nation.
Michael Savage. Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.